Hi, welcome to day 4. This is Ms. Torres here to guide you through the lessons for today. I'm going to go ahead and get started with reading language arts, and there are some activities that you might want to pull out from your binder. The first one is going to be on page 47. Okay, page 47, and it's called Sounds on a Walk. Okay, this activity is to help your child put words apart. Okay, so they recommend that you go out for a walk, right? And as you're walking, you point out to different things like window and have the child clap window, and then they'll tell you, oh, it's 2 syllables, right? And then you can go on continuing asking for different words. I noticed that when I was trying to think of some, a lot of them are 1 syllable words, and that's okay, right? Car, car. Maybe you can specify on the car. It's a suburban. How many syllables in a suburban? And you can go ahead and count suburban, right? So it's 3, and you're introducing your vocabulary. Okay, so that's the first one. And then well, actually for the same one, they want you to do something different. They want you to go ahead and separate the sounds on certain words, and you ask them to listen for the beginning, middle, and final sounds. For example, in the word bird, so you would tell them the complete word bird, and then they would separate the sounds. B, d. And what was the first sound? What was the initial sound? And they'll go b. And what was the final sound? D. Okay, so that becomes a little bit harder, but this is just a way of practicing so that they can acknowledge the different sounds in different words. Okay, so that was sounds on a walk. The next one is called grocery list, and that one you'll find on page 50 in your binder. Of course, the English section, which is the first section. Okay, and in the grocery list, you are decoding words and writing words. Okay, so like we've been telling you, we want them to keep on practicing their writing skills so that they won't lose that. Okay, so here you're going to give your child a sheet of paper, and you're going to dictate. That means you're going to tell them words or things that you might need to buy. Okay, so this is actually a good activity. It could help you out at the same time your child is learning. So you can look through your fridge and be calling out words. Oh, we need more eggs, and they can write it down. Now, it does state that when the child asks you, well, how do you spell that, mom? I don't know how to spell that, or dad, right? That it's good for you to write it down, and then they can copy it. Okay, you could write it for them later on if they are getting frustrated, but it's just so that they can try it. Or you can say, oh, just write what you think, write what you hear, right? And that's another way. And then they actually say to expand that when you go to the grocery store, they can have their list with them, and as there's always a label for the price, they can go ahead and write whatever is on the label. So I thought that was pretty neat. It's a pretty good activity that you can do, unless you're short of time, of course, because it would take a while. But I think they would love it and enjoy it, and maybe you wouldn't have to do it for all the items on your list. I also thought that maybe a good thing to do to make it more exciting is maybe use some kind of color paper, or I know like they sell like little what do you call them? The little spirals where they can write their things, and they can just feel like they're important. So I think that's a fabulous, but any paper would do. I think they would enjoy the activity just as well. Okay, so that was the second activity. And now we're going into the book. We're still working with what makes this shadow. Okay, so for this one, since yesterday we went ahead and specified what happened at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end, today what we're asking them to do is to, in their journal, right, or their composition book, for them to go ahead and write something or draw something that they didn't know about what they read, right? So something that they learned. Okay, so you are going to kind of ask them, okay, was there something in the book that you learned and that you didn't know before? And they might go ahead and reflect and tell you what they didn't, or what they did learn. Okay, that's one way. But then in the final product, they want they want you to make sure that they tell you more than one thing. Okay, and then they write it down here. And again, you can always guide them, help them writing these sentences and these things. Okay, so that was the end for reading, which I think it's pretty awesome. They're new activities for you to do with your child, and they're not as complicated, and you can use any object from your house. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to math. If you would like to pause and just give it some time to absorb and maybe even do the lesson now, that'd be great. But we're going to go ahead and continue with math. Okay, so for math, we have up here that we're going to continue with our Zern topic A, but now we're on lesson 4. And this you'll find it in page 196. So if you want to pull that out, and your paper should look something like this. Okay? So I went ahead and wrote it up here on the top so that you can see it, right? A little bit better. And the instruction says, change the picture to make 10. Write the easier number sentence and solve. Tom has 9 red pencils and 5 yellow pencils, right? How many pencils does Tom have in all? So the first thing we're going to do is what we've been doing all these 3 lessons prior to this one. We're going to circle what makes 10, okay? So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to circle that, right? So then I am going to continue this. 10 pencils plus how many are left? 4 pencils, and then we're going to figure out the answer. So we do it in this motion so that they can get used to after 10. When we circle 10, we just continue counting instead of counting from the very beginning. So this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I know my answer is 14, right? So right here, what we're doing is that we're bringing down the 9, right? And then we know that the answer is 14. So now this goes back to lesson 1, right? 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 take away 9 is 5. 14 take away 5 is 9. So it becomes part of the fact family, right? So now I know that my answer is 14. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and continue here. 9 plus 3. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I know that's 9, and 10. Circle them, right? 10 plus how many? 2, and it gives you what? 10, 11, 12, right? 12. So in order to make my fact family, I'm going to bring down my 9 here and put it in my bond, and then my answer is 12, so this becomes my little fact family. 12 take away 3 is 9. 12 take away 9 is 3. 9 plus 3 is 12, and that's your answer. Number 3, I'm going to go ahead and make 10, right? So we know this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm going to go ahead and circle my 10, right? And how many are left that are not circled? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I know this is 10, so I'm going to continue counting from here. 10, 11, 12, 13. 10 plus 3 is 13. I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 9 here. And then I'm going to put my 13 here. So 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 take away 9 is 4. 13 take away 4 is 9. Okay? And that was your math. So for homework or for work at home, they would be doing page 197. So we did 196, they will be completing 197. Okay? And the last subject for today is social studies. We've been doing science, but for this program, they have 3 days of science and then 2 days of social studies. So on Thursdays, we'll be doing social studies. And we're going to be focusing on reading maps. And they give you like some information like in the past, like for all the other lessons. They give you some background information on page 358, which is where I put it. 358, and it goes on to tell you the importance of why children need to know how to read maps. Okay, so let me just go ahead and tell you briefly why they state it is important. So reading maps is an important skill that even the youngest of children can learn and develop from any early age. Reading maps combines reading and math skills and helps build spatial sense and visual literacy. Remind your children that a map is a tool. Okay, it's a tool that shows details about an area. A map can show continents, countries, states, and cities, or show the roads and landmarks of a town. Okay, so maps can be from the simplest to the most complicated, and you can go ahead and go in, and they have websites here that you can go and to show the different types of maps. Okay, so their activity for today, what we want you to do is in your composition book, in this composition book, we want your child to hide an object first, right, inside your home and not tell you about it. Okay, hopefully it's not too difficult, but they're going to go ahead and choose an object and hide it somewhere in the house. Okay, then what they're supposed to do in their composition book is to draw a treasure map, right, so that you or somebody else in your household can go and look for the object that they hid. Okay, so I kind of made an example. Doesn't It's very, very simple, but they can get creative. They can draw chairs, they can draw a little better, but this is my map of my house, right? And I went ahead and put a star there wherever I hid my object, right? So then whoever's going to look at this map, they're going to go ahead and try and figure out where did they hide the object. Okay, so it's something fun. It's something that maybe you can dress up as pirates, or you can maybe draw the map on a paper bag, an open paper bag, so that it looks more authentic. It's up to you, but whatever you decide, please send us a picture and let us know what it looks like. Be as creative as you can, make it fun. Or if you want to write it here, that's fine as well. Okay, so this concludes our lesson for social studies. Oh, by the way, there is a Brain Pop Junior video, right? So if you go into the web, there is a Brain Pop Junior video that you could just type in reading maps, and there's a free video there that you can go ahead and watch with your child, and it explains a little bit more into detail the different types of maps and why they're important. So again, that's in Brain Pop Junior, right? And then for the search, you could just put reading maps. Okay, so thank you for stopping by, and I hope this video was helpful. Have a great, great afternoon. Thank you. Bye.